Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to WJOB 1230 AM and 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And it's the morning call with Tom Dabertin. Great to be here with you. July 15th, halfway through the month of July. And guess what? Today starts Festival of Lakes, and Mayor Tom McDermott, Jr. of the city of Hammond, will be here about 7:15 to talk about the festival and other items that you may want to ask him about. And we're going to be on the air until 8:30, and then at 8:30 it's Think Parks. So plenty of time to give us a call, 845-1100, to talk about things. But let's begin with traffic and weather. Traffic in northwest Indiana looks really good right now. I-65, 80-94, the toll road all in good shape. There is a construction zone on Klein Avenue, so try to be careful in that area. Going across the line into Illinois, 294, the Bishop Ford look pretty decent right now. The Dan Ryan has its usual backups in starting about 47th. Otherwise, most of the Chicago area expressways look pretty good. With that, let's talk weather with Lynette.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 78 degrees with highs of 94 and lows of 73. It's going to be mostly sunny and warm with dangerous heat. Seek time in the shade and stay hydrated. Later tonight should be partly cloudy, warm, and humid. Then tomorrow on Thursday, we'll be having highs of 92 and lows of 72. Should be partly sunny and warm. A thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. And Friday, we'll be having highs of 88 and lows of 73 with partial sunshine with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Very humid. There could be ponding on roadways.
And I have a text message from Mark from Hobart who says, check my volume.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. 84. You're just ahead of the game. Can you give me the lotto numbers? 845.
Trying to work out the phones right now. I don't know if
we're having problems.
I got to work out the phones really quick.
All right, 845-1100. Just bear with us as we work on the phones this morning. Big question of the day. Congress overwhelmingly passed a bill to put us permanently on daylight savings time. So love to hear your views on that one, because everybody has a view. Do you like to have more light in the evening or in the morning? So if this bill passes through the Senate, and Donald Trump has said he's already committed to signing it, we will no longer move our clocks back and forth in the fall and in the spring. It means that we'll stay on daylight savings time. Pretty much the time that we're on right now will become our time, and it won't change in the future. So love to hear your views on that and anything else that's going on. In the news, of course, Iran and the U.S. are basically at it again. Iran violated the interim agreement, and the U.S. has been striking at facilities. The good news is that we haven't seen a huge spike in oil. Oil prices have gone up, but not nearly as much as they did previously. Part of the reason is because there are these truck-arounds that are going on right now in Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iraq, and other countries. Basically what they're doing is they're trucking the oil to other ports, and Saudi Arabia is building a huge facility out on the Red Sea so that in the future they won't need to use the Strait of Hormuz at all. So that could change things in about 2.5 years. But in the short term, they're trucking oil to the Mediterranean and to the Red Sea. Do we have any callers?
We do not.
Okay, so 845-1100.
I did fix the phones.
You did fix the phones. Okay, so now you can call, folks. 845-1100 is the number to call. So that's a very interesting turnaround in the Middle East. The question is, who outlasts each other? Okay, so the U.S. basically has decimated the daylights out of Iran's military, and they continue to do so, but it isn't completely gone yet. And in the meantime, the Iranians are just sitting back saying, well, we're going to we're going to outlast the United States because we know the American people don't want to pay high gas prices, and there's an election coming up, so they figure that they'll just outlast the United States. President Trump is scheduled to have a national address Thursday evening, probably to talk primarily about Iran, but he'll talk about other issues as well. He always does. As I've said before, the best thing they could do is have some sort of tape nearby, as in duct tape, to stop him from talking. But he'll go on and on, I'm sure, for many hours on national television. So he'll be talking about that on Thursday. There is a race that a lot of people are watching up in Michigan, and it's for the U.S. Senate race on the Democratic side. You have a social democrat, a Dr. Saeed, who is a avowed socialist, very, very liberal, running against a Congresswoman Stevens, who is also a liberal, but not nearly as liberal as her opponent, and that's getting a lot of attention to see where that ends up, because this could be quite a bellwether for the fall elections. So we'll keep an eye out on that, and give us a call if you have a view on that election. And then, again, closer to home, we have several things going on, including Festival of Lakes, which, again, we'll talk to Mayor McDermott about it this morning, beginning at 7:15. Also, I know a lot of people are asking, Big Boy is making a return to the region. This is probably the last time you're going to get to see Big Boy come through the region. So it will be coming through Thursday afternoon. I'm still waiting for the update. It'll be about 8 a.m. this morning that the Norfolk Southern people put out an update about Big Boy. Why the Norfolk Southern? Because it's going to run on the Norfolk Southern tracks as it comes through the area. But it's going to follow the same route that it followed a few weeks ago when it went eastbound. So it'll go through on the Indiana Harbor Belt tracks underneath the viaducts in Hammond before it heads to Illinois. When it gets to Illinois, however, right around Alsip, it's going to make a sharp turn to the southwest, and then it's going to head to St. Louis and then down to Dallas. So this is really the last chance for you to see it. It'll be Thursday afternoon, probably coming through around 2:30 or 3 o'clock is my best guess right now, but as soon as I have the update, I'm going to give it to you. 845-1100, and we've got callers, so good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, yesterday I got a letter from Chicago Magazine, which I've been a subscriber of Chicago Magazine for many years, announcing that the August issue will be the last print edition of Chicago Magazine, but it's going to digital. It says here, while our mailing of the printed edition is coming to an end, you can continue to enjoy Chicago Magazine content through a digital subscription. A digital subscription also includes unlimited access to the full suite of Chicago Tribune digital news, providing comprehensive local, national, and breaking news coverage. Too bad. I used to use it a lot to identify ethnic restaurants I wanted to check out, but I continued even though I stopped that, just to keep a operation like the Chicago Magazine going, and but too bad for Chicago Magazine print edition. I used to glance over it, and then I would give it to a young couple in the neighborhood who I thought maybe make better use of it. Did you ever get the Chicago Magazine?
I did, and I enjoyed the Chicago Magazine. They actually did a story about me back when I was at the Museum of Science and Industry, and they did a number of stories about the museum, so I used to get it. I enjoyed reading it. I still enjoy reading magazines, but they're few and far between. Everything is online, and I enjoy reading, but I enjoy having the physical presence in front of me. For example, I get the Times, okay, and I buy the electronic version. They really don't want you to buy the print version, it seems, anymore, given the price. But when I read it online, I don't feel that I have it has the same impact as when I read it, physically. Right. And so I enjoy a physical paper. I enjoy a physical magazine, and certainly a book. Speaking of the Times, Walt, you subscribe to the Times, do you not?
No,
Okay.
I stopped because the delivery became so erratic, and I'm at the library every day now that I'm retired. So I have about 6 papers I read every day off for free at the local library.
I'm a little surprised. I know Mark Chase has said that he'll come on with me one day, and I'd like for Mark to talk about his plans as executive editor. I read a column by Jerry Davich from yesterday. A little surprised about how liberal some of the writers are all of a sudden for the Times. Dan
Right.
Cardin is another, and Cardin
Right.
basically is writing very liberal slanted views. It's
Yep.
almost as if it's being written by the Democratic Party, and I don't like that in a paper.
Right.
I want balance, and I don't see that balance right now.
But what you want to see is news. Now, if they have opinion, that's okay. Put it on the editorial page, and I'll read that too. But it's obvious that with the new leadership back, the tone of it has definitely changed.
Well, I think that change. I have to defend Mark. I think that change occurred before Mark was involved, and so my hope is that he's going to work to kind of bring more balance back to it. I know the new owner is actually somewhat conservative, so you would think it would move a little bit toward the conservative side, but hard to say.
Of course, Festival of Lakes kicking off today, going through the 19th. It's in Hammond, located near Wolf Lake. There are other stuff taking place this weekend. The Greek Fest in Cherville, and they've been advertising on WJOB. They start tomorrow, going through a Sunday, and I've attended all of the Greek festivals in the area, but the one in Cherville is my favorite. So I'm looking forward to chowing down on some great Greek chicken. There are two art festivals for people who are into the arts. Griffiths is having their art festival at their Central Park. That starts that's this weekend, and they really have the quality place. It's a wonderful park, and they have excellent first-class art for you to look at and buy. And something new that this weekend will be in Lake Station, an art fest on Saturday on Clay Street. Never been to it, and I'm going to check it out. And but there's plenty for people to do this weekend if they're inclined to.
There is a lot to do in Northwest Indiana. I'm glad that you brought up Greek Fest. We had Patricia on last week. It was great to talk to her. And again, that's this weekend as well. Festival of Lakes, again, Mayor McDermott will be here at 7:15 to talk about some of the highlights of that festival. So we're in the summer festive season in Northwest Indiana, and there's a lot to see and do. And people will discount Northwest Indiana who live here, but people who don't live here will venture to here to take in those festivals, and I always find that interesting.
Well, something for the soccer fans. Joe Mansueto, whose family is rooted in Northwest Indiana, and owner of the Chicago Fire, he has paid the big bucks to bring in the top soccer player in Poland, a guy by the name of Robert Lewandowski, and he'll be playing for the Chicago Fire. Have you ever been to one of those soccer games with the Chicago Fire?
I have not. I'm not a soccer fan. I watched the American game last week, and sat there and, to be honest with you, dozed off. I wasn't sure what I was watching, and I think soccer is great. It's a worldwide phenomenon. I think it's wonderful that we're hosting the World Cup. But that said, don't look to me to give you color commentary about about what's going on in soccer. Now, the WNBA, I can tell you plenty about that. I watched the Fever the other night, and that was a phenomenal game. But I can't tell you much about soccer.
Well, back when the United States sponsored the World Cup, I got a call from my wife and saying, "Would you like a ticket to the World Cup soccer game here in Chicago?" And I said, "Well, sure." And she said one of the owners of the company had tickets that they weren't going to use, and they were passing them out, and so I had to run over to her office and get the ticket and attended. It was between two South American teams. A lot of what soccer is about is the audience. I mean, they really that soccer crowd is really enthusiastic. I mean, they really get it. They really get into it. It's almost nonstop singing, chanting, waves, and so forth and so on. And I growing up in East Chicago, because East Chicago has such a large population of people from originally extracted from Europe or European refugees. In a public school that I attended, we loved playing soccer. If we were good kids, the Coach Joe would say we were playing soccer, which everybody loved to hear. And so I grew up on soccer, and once I got older, I was amazed to learn that it was not that popular around the country. And but the Mansueto family, their objective, I think, is because of the large Polish American population in Chicago and Northwest Indiana, they're hoping to attract an audience to watch Mr. Lewandowski play soccer. He was being interviewed, and he made a comment. He says, "I don't understand why you call it soccer. It's football. It's no hands. It's all by the feet," kind of thing. But
well,
I've heard that other Europeans.
Oh, absolutely. And there's always that issue about American football versus foosball. So absolutely. Hey, Walt, thanks so much for the call. 845-1100. Sure. We've got another caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Tom. I kind of woke up late. I didn't have the TV on to see what you really look like. But the first thing I want to ask you is your pool cooler or the studio cooler? What temperature is cooler?
I'll tell you what. I think it's a tie. The pool yesterday was at 91 degrees, and I think the studio right now is at about probably 91 degrees. It's pretty hot in here. So, yeah, it's. Yeah. I'll tell you, you get in the pool yesterday, and you feel no shock whatsoever. You know how when you get into water, you usually feel just that little tiny shock? None at all.
Yep.
It's extremely warm.
Does your two household pets join you in the pools?
No, they refuse to jump in.
They do, huh?
Sophie has no interest in it. Luna, absolutely none. We've actually put Luna in the pool before. She didn't like it. She let us know she didn't like it. She got out, started barking. She does not want to go in the pool. We've not tried to bring Sophie in. Sophie is a big dog, 110 pounds, and I don't think my back can handle it. I did get Duke, my golden retriever. He used to swim. If you put a life vest on him, he would swim around, and then he was done. But he would go in. But no such luck with these two dogs.
Yeah, talking about household pets, it was on the news somewhere. I didn't know what station or when it was. It was about a sports. I guess it was a dog day at a baseball park, and this couple was sitting with their dog. And
the hot dog. The hot dog, right?
The hot dog. And they made him the dog day of that dog. But that was really, if you look at the expression on that dog behind the other dog, looking like, where's my treat?
Well, you know what's interesting, though? Are you aware of the fact that the dog actually didn't get a hot dog? When they had the dog day, the one that they brought, the one that they had the special day for, it ends up that the dog doesn't digest hot dogs very well. So they had a hot dog toy and all kinds of treats for him, but he actually will not eat a hot dog.
Yeah. Let me explain something about yesterday and what's going on with me today. Yesterday, my student, a black lady from Minnesota, second time she failed on her exam test out in Portage. She didn't even get out the yard, and she was such depressed mood. I drove back. I showed her the corner not to if she gets out of the yard next time. So on the way back, I got her finally cheered up, got her laughing. And I told her, I go to her, I said, here's the deal. I might not get paid for it, but if you can, she's got to buy some more hours. And I told her, I said, here's the deal. You come to the yard this morning, I'll take you out to the test route, do the test route twice. I don't know if I'm going to get paid or not for it, but my policy and my feelings is I want you passed and I want you out of here. So that's why I'm running kind of haggity, because I'm trying to get ready. But I'm going to take her out, get her going. You know, I got her laughing, which finally cheered this girl up, you know. And, I mean, I could have just, I don't have no students to test today or tomorrow. I could have stayed home in a nice, cool house. But me, I want everybody to be taught to drive a truck and don't look like Trucker Mike, but drive like Trucker Mike.
Well, I just wish they would drive safely, because I'll tell you what, I saw another trucker this morning. I was on Indianapolis Boulevard coming over the viaduct just north of the station here, and the truck is in the inner lane, and all of a sudden, as the light changes, he decides that he's just going to change over to the right side. Okay, he shouldn't have been in the inner lane to begin with, but he changed his mind. Well, guess what? Myself and two other cars were sitting in the outer lane, and he just decided to turn into us. So I wish, truckers, truckers would show a little bit more respect to the drivers out there, because sometimes they just don't bother. And cars, automobile drivers are just as bad. So I'm not blaming truckers, but they're all bad.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go in a second. Let all the other callers, because I got to get ready and do some stuff. But I'd like to. I didn't get to. They didn't answer my call yesterday after the interview with Kelly, with Larry and Michelle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what if that Kelly is listening? Okay, Kelly, you still are a region rat. Okay, even though you cut hair, you sing, you make books, you're a wonderful person. I listened to that interview from that Kelly, and I couldn't even go refill my coffee cup, because her interview was such a interesting interview, you know. But the thing I want to know is, she's a hairstylist, okay, and she's a singer. Now, I was wondering if she could call back and answer, when she is doing somebody's hair, curling their hair, or hairstylist, does she sing to them when she's doing it?
You'll have to ask her.
I'm just kind of
Mike, we've got to go to a break. We've got to go to a break. Thanks so much for calling. Take care. 845-1100. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Morning Call on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. We'll be right back.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
When your home needs help, the last thing you need is a faceless corporation or sales-driven franchise. At Myers Companies, we've been proudly local since 1951, born and raised right here in Northwest Indiana. We're family-owned and operated, built on trust, hard work, and integrity. And because we're family, we treat you like family. Your comfort and safety always come first. For HVAC, plumbing, and electrical done right, choose Myers Companies. Local, family-owned, here for your family.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
All right, we're back, and we're in a sweltering hot studio this morning on July 15th, and it is 6:24 a.m., in case you're wondering. I did check the latest update on Big Boy. So Big Boy comes back to the region tomorrow afternoon, probably the last time you'll get a chance to see Big Boy on the rails. So it is quite a unique experience. When it came through going eastbound about a month ago, there were a lot of people that lined that route, and it's worth the experience. It is a truly remarkable opportunity to see history rolling by, and people who saw it just said it was one of the highlights of the year, and I included. Yesterday, it showed up to a community in, I believe it was Ohio, and they had 25,000 people show up. And what was really interesting is that the entire community only has a population of about 12,000 people. So the population doubled. Here's the latest that we have. We know that it's supposed to depart Knox, Indiana, about 1 p.m. Central Time. It is supposed to spend the evening in South Holland, and there's no specific time that it's supposed to arrive there, although I know that they want it there about 5 o'clock. So I'm going to take a guess right now and say that if you're coming to see Big Boy tomorrow through the Hammond, Northwest Indiana area, be along the tracks by about 3 o'clock. All right? That should work. I'd say right around 3 o'clock. I think it's going to move. It's going to do a little bit better time going westbound than it did eastbound. So because it's not going to be leaving a yard like it was when it was going eastbound a few weeks ago. It went through Hammond, and it was delayed because there were people viewing it in South Holland. I don't think that's going to be the case this time. I think it's going to have a little bit more free space as far as the track goes. So I'm going to say it comes through about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a little bit later, but if you want to, if you certainly don't want to miss history on the rails. This is a truly remarkable event. It weighs 1.2 million pounds, just the locomotive itself. And to put things in perspective, that's about 3 times the weight of a modern diesel locomotive. So it's massive. It's truly remarkable. Come out and see it. It'll follow the same route as it did going through Hammond. So it's going to come to the Norfolk Southern tracks when it gets to Kennedy Avenue. It's actually going to take a spur behind Kennedy up to the Gibson Yards, run through Gibson Yards, run on the IHB tracks till it crosses the line, till it gets into Illinois, drop down to South Holland to the yards. It'll be there overnight. And then it starts a southwest trajectory through central Illinois and southern Illinois, and then ends up in Missouri and goes down toward Texas. So it's really a remarkable opportunity up here, though, to see it. So if you can, get out and see history on the rails tomorrow afternoon coming through the region. 845-1100 is the number to call. There was a story, and I understand it and I don't understand it. So there was a story that got covered by the Times and also was posted repeatedly on Facebook over the weekend about what's going on at Sacred Heart Church in Whiting. I belong to St. John the Baptist, and there has been a move on for some time, and it was announced last year that there's a consolidation of churches in Northwest Indiana. I hate to see consolidation of churches. I hate to see churches close, especially as the Catholic Church grows in population. But I understand that part of the problem is the fact that we don't have enough priests, and they're having to close parishes. As I understand it, parishioners were upset because 8:30 Mass at Sacred Heart was canceled indefinitely. And people were upset about it. They said that there were some retired priests that said they'd be willing to say Mass at Sacred Heart. The part of the story, though, that surprised me was the fact that a number of parishioners said that they had no idea this was going to happen, and that's just not correct. There's been discussion about closing churches, especially in the North Lake Deanery, for the past couple of years. And Mayor McDermott's going to be in here in about 45 minutes. I know that about a year and a half ago, he had a conversation with Bishop McClory about the closure, the ultimate closure of St. Joseph's and All Saints in downtown Hammond, for example. This discussion, this dialogue has been going on for some time. And so I'm a little surprised by the number of people who said, we had no idea this was going to happen. That's not true. The fact is that it's been a very thorough, laborious discussion and process that's been that the diocese has been going through to close those churches, and that includes Sacred Heart. Again, I understand the pain and the emotional challenge that is connected to the closing of a church. But when people say we had no idea until Sunday morning that their church was closing or that their church was not going to have 8:30 Mass, I disagree with that. The information's been out there for some time. So if you'd like to join in about that conversation as well, 845-1100 is the number to call. Let me ask you a question, Lynette, and that is, with all these activities coming up in Northwest Indiana, Festival of Lakes, for example, there's the art fair in Griffith coming up. There's Rock and Rail in Griffith. There is Pierogi Fest in Whiting. What festivals do you go to? Empanada Fest is coming up. What festivals do you go to?
I don't go to any festivals.
You don't go to any?
I didn't know Pierogi Fest was a thing before I started working here.
Really?
Yeah, I hear a lot of the festivals from here.
Wow. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of festivals, a lot of activities in Northwest Indiana. And what I always find interesting, of course, I'm a co-founder and the longtime chairman of Pierogi Fest. No longer. I've retired from it. But I'm always surprised when people say there's nothing to do in Northwest Indiana. And yet there are these festivals. I mean, Festival of Lakes is drawing people from outside Northwest Indiana. They've got Jelly Roll and Offspring and some other performers that are big name. So people are coming from a distance. Pierogi Fest basically has become a nationally known festival. People come from all over the nation and even Europe to come to Pierogi Fest. Rock and Rail is a phenomenal event that draws people from all over, well outside of Griffith. And I'm just always surprised when people say there's nothing to do here. In fact, there's the Summer in the Symphony along Whiting Lakeshore, Whiting Lakefront Park, and that starts this weekend. So there's symphony concerts. There are 4 symphony concerts in Whiting Park. There are all these festivals, and then people are like, well, there's nothing to do here. What more do you want? I think that if the Bears come to Hammond, there will be people that will still complain there's nothing to do here, even though, if the Bears come to Hammond, you're talking about probably a Super Bowl. You're talking about performers. And again, I'll probably kid them at 7:15, but I know that I know which performer Mayor McDermott wants to see on stage at the new stadium. So there's all kinds of things to do here, and there's all kinds of things that are planned to come here. And people say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in Northwest Indiana," and I guess that's a claim that's made by a lot of people in a lot of communities. I mean, even the fact that Big Boy is coming through twice. Very few communities get Big Boy rolling through twice. This is rolling history. This is an amazing opportunity to see history on the rails. And people are like, oh, I didn't even know it came through Northwest Indiana, even though we talked about it, the Times talked about it, Region News Source, always on top of things, talked about it repeatedly. People posted on Facebook. And then my neighbor said to me the other day, oh, I didn't even know it came through. It's like, how did you not know it came through? I mean, but again, it's up to the individual. So 845-1100 is the number to call. We've got callers. Good morning. You are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Yes, good morning.
Speaking of festivals, Thursday, Greek Fest out in Cherville starts with Together, and then Friday, we're doing something different this year. We got a retro 80s from Sam Kappa's production.
Yeah, and
sure
you know, one of the neat things about a Greek Fest is it's the only festival, I think, that has drive-up food service. If you don't want to attend the festival itself, you can call a number and you can actually pick up your food and take it with you, which is really a unique facet. I mean, we have a lot of great festivals here, but I have to say Greek Fest has one of the most unique facets where you can call ahead and pick up your food.
And we got all the kids running the drive-through. So if I see you there, you look for Petey out there, I'll make sure I buy you dinner.
All right. I will take you up on that. Now, give the dates and the times if you can. So it starts Thursday, it runs through Sunday, correct?
Correct. And it's Thursday from 4 till 11, Friday 4 to 11, and Saturday noon till 11, and Sunday noon till 11.
Yeah, so you've got 4 days to go out and enjoy Greek Fest, and you can, go to Greek Fest one day and go to Festival of Lakes another, and go to the Symphony in the park at Whiting Lakefront Park on yet another. So, I mean, you can really have a lot of fun in Northwest Indiana. I guess that's my point. People say, well, there's nothing to do here, but there's a lot to do here. I mean, where else can you literally, again, attend a festival, and if you can't attend the festival, you want to see Together, you want to enjoy the sights and sounds of Greek Fest, but if you just want the food, you can call ahead and you can pick up your food and take it with you. So there's all these activities, and then again, I run into people all the time. Well, there's nothing to do in Northwest Indiana. It's like, how can you say that?
Yep. One thing too, we got fresh lambs. In fact, this year we got we're going to do 80 lambs, and 10 of them are going to be from one of our parishioners. He raised them.
Wow!
So they're going to be even a different taste. This year we're adding two 17-foot by 8-foot big screen LED screens. They're going to have videos on there. To give it that MTV type atmosphere for Friday, but we're going to leave the screens on there the whole time. Might even play the soccer championship game on there too.
Wow, lots to do and see in Northwest Indiana. Greek Fest is one of those events. If I remember correctly, this is. How many years is it? 39, but it's going to be 100 technically next year?
Yes, I think it's, I think it's 39 in Cherville, but it's going to be 100 years. In a couple of years, we'll have our 100-year anniversary. We originated from East Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, again, these are events that have been going on for years, and yet people say there's not enough to do. I mean, look, even, knowing where it's at, people could even ride their bikes there. There are a number of great bike trails that go nearby. You could ride basically from Whiting or Hammond or from Hebron and get to Greek Fest on the bike trails. My wife and I just rode on Sunday. She always knows how to get me to want to take a long ride. So we rode from Whiting, we rode out to Lansing to Gaiety's Ice Cream, because she said, oh, well, okay, if we're riding, then you can go ahead and you can have ice cream and pig out, and I did. I had a banana split, in fact. But, I mean, it was just the perfect day to be out on a bicycle. And there's all these wonderful bike paths and all these walking trails. And, again, people say, well, there's nothing to do. It's like, how can you say that about Northwest Indiana? We have so much to do and so much to see and so much to experience. And, again, Greek Fest, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, Festival of Lakes, of course, we'll talk to Mayor McDermott in just a few minutes about all the goings on there. There's just so much to do and see, and you need to take it in. You need to take it in. You need to experience it. So thank you so much for the call.
I hope to see you there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 845-1100 is the number to call. Why don't we take a quick break? You're listening to the morning call on WJLB 1230 AM and 104.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Need clean energy without the junk? I'm Jim Deedlow. I used to live on burgers, football, basketball, baseball. Now I'm gluten-free and more into biking, golf, and yoga. But I still need energy. That's why I love Paradise, developed by Emily D. Edwards right here in Cherville. My favorite is Paradise Packs Strawberry with gluten-free pretzels. Find it soon at Strachan Van Til or at spreadparadise.com.
Fox Point bursts with free concerts throughout July. Our Wednesday night concert series features Hairbangers Ball, Hello Weekend, All American Throwbacks, and Keith Jackson and the Triple Dose Band. Enjoy the Northwest Indiana Symphony Orchestra on Friday, July 17th, and come back for Marrakesh Express and Echoes of Pompeii on Friday, July 31st. Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is just minutes from I-8094 and parking is free. Visit foxpoint.org for our full schedule. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
The best just got better. Tech Credit Union is proud to celebrate being recognized with Best of the Region, Best CEO, and Best Banker. To celebrate, we're offering 3 special CD offers with rates up to 4.5% APY for a limited time. Visit techcu.org or stop by your nearest Tech Credit Union branch or call 800-276-8324 to learn more. Tech Credit Union, the better option for people and communities we serve. Member NCUA. Minimum deposit required. Offer subject to change. Visit techcu.org for complete details.
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
All right, and let's do an update on traffic. I got a text from somebody who said, Tom, take a look at the Dan Ryan this morning. There is an accident at roughly 47th. However, the Dan Ryan and now the Bishop Ford is backed up all the way to 103rd. And it is a solid backup this morning. My suggestion is do not take the Bishop Ford to the Ryan this morning. You need to try Lakeshore Drive or State Street. You're going to go nowhere. The Chicago Skyway is moving fine until you get to the end of it, and then you're going to sit there. So once again, if you're on the Skyway, exit at State Street, take State Street into downtown. State Street is a surface street, and it's not designed for that kind of traffic. However, the lights seem to be synchronized pretty well, and traffic moves through pretty well. In Northwest Indiana, we continue to have backups on Klein Avenue due to construction and resurfacing. Looking at 8094, the toll road and I-65, we're in pretty good shape. But be careful this morning. If you're headed into the city, 294 is in okay shape. The Stevenson, the Eisenhower, and the Kennedy have their usual backups, but the Dan Ryan and Bishop Ford are a real problem this morning, so be careful. Let's do weather as well.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're at 79 degrees with highs of 94 and lows of 73. It's going to be mostly sunny and warm today. Dangerous heat. Seek time in the shade and stay hydrated. Tomorrow on Thursday, we'll be having highs of 92 and lows of 72. Should be partly sunny and warm. A thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. And Friday, we'll be having highs of 88 and lows of 73 with partial sunshine with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Very humid.
All right. And Mad Mac, who should actually call in, but he texted me and said, you forgot to mention Wahala Beach. He was there on Tuesday. I didn't hear any reports of any problems, even though he was there. So that's actually, I guess, a good sign. But Mad Mac was at Walhalla Beach on Tuesday. Walhalla Beach is a nice beach in northwest Indiana. It is the beach between Whiting and Hammond. The city of Whiting maintains it, although it sits actually about 50% in Hammond. Nice beach facility. Has a really nice bike path as well that you can ride or walk. So, yes, I was remiss in mentioning that. There's also a beach at the marina, the Hammond Marina on the other side of the marina. So there's a beach there. I'm dumbfounded by the number of people who say that there's just not enough to do in Northwest Indiana. I mean, I don't know what else they want. What else do they want to do? I
usually go out of town.
You go out of town?
Yeah, I'm usually more into markets or amusement parks.
Well, I am too. Now, amusement parks, I haven't been doing as many tours as I used to do, but back in the day, I've ridden about 170 different roller coasters. So, hit quite a few. Which parks do you go to?
I do go to county fairs. I go to Six Flags sometimes, but county fair is usually, which one is it? The one in Crown Point, right? There's one in Crown Point. I go to that one.
Okay. Real fast, this comes from Region News Source. Again, Region News Source, always up to date. There's a semi-fire that was just reported on 8094 eastbound near mile marker 3.2. So we're going to try and zoom in and see what we can find there, but that does not bode well for 8094 this morning, as nothing is showing up yet. So Region News Source may be ahead of the game on that one. But again, if there's a semi-fire in the eastbound lanes on 8094 at mile marker 3.2, I can guarantee you're going to have backups. You're probably going to have backups in both directions due to gaper delays. So looking at cameras, really hard to tell if you can see anything yet, but be careful if you're on 8094. So you do go to a number of fairs and markets locally.
Yes, I go to vintage markets. Which markets? Haven't been to one in a bit. Haven't heard of any that interest me. Well, but I like collecting trinkets and little oddities.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into a lot of collecting of things. I made the comment the other day that I really don't collect things, and my son said, "Really, you collect tools?" So that's true. I do. I have an awful lot of tools, a lot more tools than I need. But my wife loves that stuff. She loves to go to those things, and we usually go to the art fair in Griffith. We've actually ridden out there before, and that's kind of fun. And they're just, again, there's lots of things to see and do, and there's lots of things to see and do outside of Northwest Indiana. So let me ask you, you said you go to Six Flags. Where else do you go?
That's pretty, well, I've been outside of the state, like San Antonio with my cousins. Six
Flags San Antonio?
Yes. For me, I don't think going to those kind of places is worth it if I'm not with someone I really care about. For me, it's fun just being in someone's company.
Sure. So amusement parks, I think probably the crowning champion of amusement parks is Cedar Point. Cedar Point is fantastic. It's worth going to. It's great. Six Flags Great America, I think, has lost a lot of its luster. I just don't think that it's as attractive and as fun as it used to be. Kings Island is actually quite good. Kentucky Kingdom, which is really bizarre because the Kentucky Amusement Park is actually run by the State Fair, but then it's leased back to, I think, a subsidiary of Six Flags to run it. So during the state fair, it is the state fair. The rest of the time, it's an amusement park. You see it if you're on I-65. If you look right near the University of Louisville football stadium, near the airport, you can see the amusement park. So there are a couple in driving distance from here. There are a number of roller coasters and kind of standalone activities up in the Wisconsin Dells, but a comprehensive amusement park, you probably, the closest obviously is Six Flags, and probably the biggest and best is Cedar Point. Cedar Point spends a lot of money on new coasters, They claim to be the coaster capital of the world. They probably are, and they have a lot of new coasters that they put in every couple of years. 845-1100. We've got more callers. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing, Tom?
Good. How are you?
Okay. Yeah, you know, you're talking about lack of things to do in this area. I don't, you know, it's been a while. I remember back in the day, and they might still do it, I don't know. At the Hammond Marina, they had the sail away program. You could actually go out there, and I was going out there for a while. It's dirt cheap. You can go there, and they were giving sailing lessons on the 20-foot Catalina boats they had out there. You could learn to actually take them on to Lake Michigan and handle them, get signed off, and actually go out and rent a sailboat, take it out on Lake Michigan. And I always did say that if you live around here and you never go out on the water, it's like being out in Colorado, never going up in the mountains. When you get out on that lake, you get a whole other perspective on what this area is all about.
Oh, you do. Actually, it's kind of a neat view if you know, when you're out on Lake Michigan and you look back at Northwest Indiana, it's a very unique view because you really never see that. I mean, you see, you know, all the time. We look to the west and to the north. We look to Chicago, right? We look at the Chicago skyline. But looking back at Northwest Indiana is kind of a neat view.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, you know, it's a whole other experience. It's a whole other world. And when you do get involved in it like that, you know, a lot of people think you got to have a power boat, you know, spend $20,000 and then burn like, you know, buku gas going on the lake. You don't need to. I don't know if they still have that program there, but it was a great program. You know, back then, and actually, you know, 30 years ago, I was sailing with the Chicago Park District. They had a nice little program out there, and they had little 14-foot boats you can take out on the lake and right off the beach, you know, in Chicago. And then that's how I found out about the Hammond program. The Hammond program is actually even nicer. Both of them are dirt cheap ways to get out on the lake. A lot of these places that actually teach sailing, it's really expensive. But at the time I was going to the program here at the marina, it was something like it was less than $100, you know, to actually get signed off on. You know, you take your lessons, learn about seamanship, that kind of thing, and then in a period of about a month or two, you could be taking these boats out on the lake yourself. So it was a really nice program. I don't know if they still do it, but it was just a real fun thing to do around here in the summertime.
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. My brother David, of course, avid sailor, and probably knows plenty about it, but I don't. Let me just jump in real fast. I just want to give an update. Traffic again on 8094 eastbound, mile marker 3.2, which puts it right around Kennedy Avenue. Region News Source just shared some more information that the fire department is on the scene. It sounds like it probably was a brake fire, but nonetheless, traffic is backing up. You can see it now on the camera system. So be careful if you're eastbound on 8094 this morning. Continue the conversation. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, the other thing, too, of course, this is, I'm going back a long time ago, but all the airports around here have flying schools. I learned how to fly down at Lansing Airport, you know, back in the 70s. And, you know, I don't know how expensive it is now. It was reasonable back then, but to say that there's nothing to do around here in the summer, that's why you have summer series, so that you can get outside and do things. You know, we have a lot of lousy weather through the winters and all that stuff. We're stuck inside, so when you get out, when the weather gets nice, it's fun to get out and actually get, you know, develop, you know, memories.
Well, let me ask you this: with the House passing this bill about putting us permanently on daylight savings time, what's your feeling on that?
I like it. I hate it when they change the clocks. It takes me 2-3 weeks to get used to the new time, and it's like a whipsaw. You know, it's like it's hard to get used to it. I wish they would keep things, just not mess with the clocks. It just seems to mess with your biological clock of yourself, your circadian rhythm. So I wish they'd just leave it alone.
Well, I agree with you. I think the right idea for us is daylight savings time. I know some people say, oh, it's going to be too dark in the morning. But you know what? I don't really care if it's dark in the morning. But what I don't want to do is come home from work and have it dark already and the day is ended.
Right.
So I think that extended time in the afternoon, especially in the winter, makes more sense than having it dark so early. I mean, let's face it, in the winter, it's dark right after 4 o'clock in Northwest Indiana. And to me, that's too early.
Well, we were just talking about that. You know, we with my wife, both of us have gotten what you call it. We got her. I'm getting a brain cramp here, but we older people especially have a problem driving at night. Cataract surgery.
Oh.
And we both got it within the last year. And when you start getting older, and the idea you just can't. It's hard to drive at night. And if it's getting dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it just makes it that much harder trying to get around. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why they keep doing this either. I think it just messes with people more than it's worth.
Well, the vote in the House was 308 to 117. Frank Mervan voted against changing the time. He didn't give a statement yet. I know that Hakeem Jeffries voted against it, so there was kind of there's a belief that, it might have been party politics for some Democrats. Although, again, for it to be 308, that means that a lot of Democrats crossed the aisle. So it was kind of evenly split between, on the Democratic side, the Republicans voted in a block. So, again, Trump has already said he'll support it. I think it's a good idea. I think that it like you said, it takes weeks to make that adjustment when time changes. So why not just keep it steady and not make that adjustment all the time?
I know a lot of people as they're traveling around this area and that through the Midwest, and it's always a big question is, what's the time where I'm going? You never know. I mean, you go down to Indianapolis, they don't necessarily have the same time that we do. And it's sort of weird because they're pretty much straight south of us. And yet if you go east, you could be...
Well, Indianapolis is an hour difference.
miles away and they get a different time zone.
No, Indianapolis, so is an hour difference than us. They're not on the same time.
Yeah. Well, I know they don't change, do they? Don't they have a local...
no, they do change now. So it used to be, you're right. It used to be until about 10 years ago. Indiana basically would end up... Indianapolis didn't change, so part of the year they were on the same time with us, and part of the year they were not. But about 10 years ago, the state passed a law so that the rest of Indiana now changes time just like we do. So they're always an hour difference because my daughter lives in Fishers, Indiana, and so she's always an hour different than me.
Yeah. It's sort of weird because I know people down in Alabama. I think they're in the same time zone as we are, but then too, you could be talking about up here, and you can go a little further east, and they're in a different time zone.
Right. Well, you go right. You move beyond LaPorte County, or for example, I have to drive up to Michigan today on business. Well, as soon as I get across that line, the time changes. So. The conference that I'm going to is at 10:45, but that means 9:45 here. So you're absolutely right. You have to be cognizant of the time change. When I used to work in Chicago, people would say, "Oh, you came from Indiana. Oh, well, that was you're on a different time zone." It's like, no, we're on the same time as you. But of course, they used to act as though I was crossing the international date line. When I was at the museum, people were amazed.
It's so weird. You talk to people in Chicago and that, and they're so provincial around here, and that you tell them they're coming from Indiana, and they say, "Wow, you travel that far?" And it's a 20-minute drive.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I remember one time I got a call. We had an alarm go off at the museum in the vault room, so I had to drive in, and I got there in about 15 minutes, and some of my staff met me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you came all the way from Indiana." It's like, well, you came from Melrose Park. Melrose Park is farther than me coming from Indiana. That was my assistant. And he's like, Yeah, but you came from a different state. It's like, well, I didn't cross, an international border of the date line. I mean, it was just a couple of miles.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for the call.
I think that's okay. All right, Tom, you take care.
845-1100 is the number to call. Again, if you are on eastbound 8094, it is finally now showing up on the computerized maps. Be very careful, because as you approach Kennedy Avenue, there is a semi-fire. It appears that it's due to the brakes, but it has backed up 8094 all the way to Torrance Avenue now. So if you're headed eastbound, you're going to run into a real problem. If you're going to try and get on at Indianapolis Boulevard, just forget it, because you're not going anywhere. So you need to get past Kennedy Avenue before it opens up. 845-1100. Speaking of open up, our phone lines are open. So give us a call right now, but we do have a couple callers waiting, so we'll take the call. Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. It is Patricia calling to talk about St. George Greek Fest this weekend.
Yes. We actually had a caller earlier that mentioned it as well. So go ahead.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the opportunity, and good morning, everyone. And just calling to remind everyone that we are having our Greek Fest starting tomorrow through Sunday. Again, at St. George Greek Orthodox Church at 528 West 77th Avenue and in Cherville. And we are having, this is our big event of the year, and we are starting tomorrow. It opens up at 4 o'clock. It's from 4 to 10 on Thursday and Friday, and also Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 10. And we have a lot of delicious food. We have our famous lamb that is, we have our gentleman making on the spit fresh. We have our shish kebabs and a lot of other delicious Greek food, as well as entertainment this weekend. So we are honored again to have the band together, opening up our Greek Fest tomorrow, starting at 6:30, performing till 10 o'clock. And also we have Friday, we have the return of the 80s and 90s music. Again, that starts at 6:30. And then Saturday and Sunday, we have our traditional Greek music that will be performing all weekend. So I say leave the cooking at home this weekend. The weather seems to be, it'll be a decent weather, so come on out and let us feed you and come enjoy. And we will also have some vendors as well. So we hope to see everyone. And also, before I forget to mention, we do have our raffle. So our first prize is $10,000, the second prize is $2,500, and our third prize is $1,500. And the raffle ticket is a $20 donation for the ticket. So our drawing will be on Sunday, and winner does not need to be present. So again, we hope to see everyone out at our Greek Fest. Again, the address is 528 West 77th Avenue in Cherville. And if you'd like to call the church for more information, you can call at 219-322-6165.
All right.
So hope to see everyone out.
Very good. Thanks so much, Patricia. Appreciate the call. 845-1100 is the number. Now, this is bizarre. I just did an update on traffic, on the traffic map, and it shows that the problem at Kennedy Avenue is dissipated. I find that odd because it went from a very serious backup to almost nothing. So I don't know if that's true, but I would say continue to be very careful around Kennedy Avenue. My son just sent me an interesting fact, and that is that the day we gain an hour of sleep when time changes is consistently the day with the lowest amount of heart attacks. That's because you get an extra hour of sleep. The day we lose an hour of sleep, which means that you lose an hour, so you're sleeping less, is also the day most consistent with the highest amount of heart attacks. But if you're not changing time, Tom, then you don't have to worry about that. So again, I think a steady approach to time makes sense. This idea of changing time, it used to be, it was largely planned around farmers and school children. But this day and age, kids aren't walking to school. Generally, they're taking buses. And the argument that farmers, it makes a difference for them. We're not an agricultural economy anymore. So I think that putting us permanently on daylight savings time makes a lot of sense, and it'd be my preference. But again, love to hear your views as well. 845-1100. We've been talking a lot about festivals and activities in Northwest Indiana. Again, I mentioned that President Trump, though, is supposed to speak to the nation tomorrow night about a variety of issues, and he's keeping it fairly vague. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. I would guess that he's probably going to have some sort of a tribute to Lindsey Graham, who was a 6-time senator from South Carolina who passed away suddenly over the weekend due to an aortic rupture in the abdomen. And I'm sure there will be some sort of tribute to him. Graham was a bit of a hawk when it came to foreign policy. You saw him on every talk show. He took on everybody. He was actually an attorney and an adjutant general for the military. So he basically was a fairly hawkish person, but also someone who was a pretty aggressive person when he spoke. However, a lot of his fellow senators from both sides of the aisle say that he was actually a very congenial person to talk to. That he gave his point, but he said it in a very nice way, and that he was someone that a lot of people could work with. So sometimes you see on television a persona that you believe to be correct, and then you find out that the person's actually a lot different when they're not on television, when they're not at the forefront of exposure. That those individuals are a lot different. One of the things that I find interesting is here's Lindsey Graham. He was a 6-time senator, chairman of the Budget Committee, chairman of the Armed Services Committee, and his net worth was $1.4 million. It was announced the other day. I think it was Monday. And you look at Pelosi and all the others who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars from all their stock tips. Here's a guy that could have cleaned up and absolutely refused to do so. So whether you like Lindsey Graham or not, he seemed to have been extremely honest when it came to his position as a U.S. Senator. He didn't use inside trading. He didn't use insider information. Again, didn't always agree with Lindsey Graham. I thought he was a little bit too much to the right for my choosing, but nonetheless, he was an interesting guy, very colorful individual to watch. He was an old John McCain ally. Back in the day, it was McCain himself and Joe Lieberman, who were all very, very close. And, it was said that they kind of carried a huge amount of power in Congress because the three of them represented, different factions of different parties and were able to get things done. And I think Blumenthal used to figure in sometime in that equation as well, kind of as a fourth person at times. And so, big surprise. You never know when that time is going to come. We don't like to talk about it. We don't like to think about it, but it does happen. And Lindsey Graham, age 71, passed away over the weekend, kind of a shock to everybody. I have a feeling that Trump is going to have some sort of a presentation or a tribute to Lindsey Graham. And that'll be tomorrow evening. It'll be a nationally televised address from the White House. So we'll see what's going on there. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and take another break. And I know Mayor McDermott is going to join us shortly, so we're going to probably get ready for him. You're listening to The Morning Call on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Head on over to St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Cherville for Greek Fest 2026 on July 16th through 19th. Come and enjoy the Greek experience with delicious foods like lamb, shish kebab, Greek chicken, spanakopita, and many desserts, including our delicious loukmades. Check out our drive-through options. We offer free admission, music, dancing, and a $14,000 raffle. Located at 528 West 77th Avenue in Cherville. For more information, contact the church office at 219-322-6165.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Yeah, I noticed. I just took a quick look at Facebook, and a number of people brought up the anniversary of Richard Speck killing the nurses in Chicago, and what a horrible, horrible situation that was. It happened in 1968, so I was 8 years old. I remember it, and I remember people actually saying how they drove by the apartment building, and just a horrible situation that happened many years ago. But speaking of horrible situations, the crime in Chicago continues to be out of control, and the mayor of Chicago seems to be completely clueless as to what's going on there. He continues to blame anybody and everybody. He blames racism. He blames President Trump. He blames anybody and everybody. The state of Indiana, because guns are available in Indiana. He blames anybody but himself for the problems that exist, and I just don't understand why. 845-1100, we've got another caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Talking about things to do in Northwest Indiana, of course, we have the wonderful Lakeshore, and one of my favorite things to do is to go out to the Dune State Park, go to the pavilion, get an ice cream cone or other ice cream creations, or get a box lunch of something to eat for lunch, and settle into the park benches that are shaded. You can look out over the beach and the water and people watch, and it's a very pleasant way to spend some time at the Indiana Dune State Park.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Dunes is truly a gem. It's a beautiful facility. You've got the national park and the state park. But you talk about ice cream, and Gaiety's is just down the street from you, Walt. Do you ever go to Gaiety's Ice Cream?
Yes.
It is. Yep. It is a. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. No doubt about it. You add on a few pounds when you go over to Gaiety's. No doubt about that either. So.
Eating some ice cream, creation of whatever it is, a cone or a dish of ice cream. So that's pure Americana, and I highly recommend it. The Canadian forest fires in Ontario are going to be sending their smoke our way. The weather guesses are predicting it's going to arrive here around Thursday. Apparently, for people with serious respiratory problems and heart problems, that can be a serious problem.
We get it every year, and the thing is that it's funny. If we had smoke from the United States going to Canada, there would be international outrage. But the Canadian wildfires every year affect Northwest Indiana, and nobody says a darn thing about it. It just that to me that's such a contradiction, because once again, if the United States exported smoke into Canada, it would be an international uproar. But every year, right around Festival of Lakes, in fact, and joining me in the studio right now is Mayor McDermott's just sitting down, and I mean I'm sure he can attest to the fact that every year at Festival of Lakes, you have rain and you have the smoke from the forest fires, and people stand there and say, "Well, what's going on in Hammond? Where's the smoke from?" And the mayor has to explain, "No, it's coming from Canada." And once again, if it came from the opposite way, if Northwest Indiana was sending smoke to Canada, oh my God, why they'd have 24-hour coverage. So, and with that, good morning, Mayor. I think he just plugged in. So, good morning.
Hey, Tom.
So, Walt just mentioned the smoke every year from the forest fires up in Canada, the wildfires, and says that it's due in here about Thursday, which usually it shows up right around the time of Festival of Lakes.
Yeah.
And it has a big effect. Hey, Walt, thanks so much for the call. So great to have you here this morning.
Thanks. Thanks for the invite.
It is it's a busy couple of days for you.
Yeah. We start tonight. It started Saturday with the Festival 5K. And then tonight's the first night. I know we have Senior Day coming up here in a couple hours, and then it just the rest of the week.
You've got some big acts, and I know you've got big acts, and I can tell you why, because I don't know any of them.
Yeah, well, Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll, I know, but
I'm
told Offspring is a huge act.
Yeah.
My son's all excited.
Yeah,
his friends are
act.
excited. I have no idea.
Yeah, Friday night, Offspring is great. Tonight's going to be great, too. It's freestyle, free parking, freestyle. We have DJs. We have house music. It's 80s based, so it's good for people in our age demographic. But we expect, so free parking. It's a good night to get into the carnival for those of you that have the mega passes. You don't have to pay to park. Get in there, enjoy the carnival rides. You'll have good music in the background. So we're expecting over 5,000 people to the freestyle portion. It's pretty crazy how many people love that.
You've really taken this festival. I mean, look, back in the day, I remember when your dad was mayor and we had August Fest, and I was involved with that.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed by what you've been able to do in taking Festival of Lakes. It started in 2004.
Yeah, my first year.
And really catapulted it to where it is now. I mean,
thank you.
Jelly Roll is one of the biggest names out there, period.
Yeah, he had a Grammy this year.
Yeah, I mean, he is a big name performer that you're bringing to Hammond.
Right.
And
we're pretty psyched.
People are coming from quite a distance to see Jelly Roll.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt.
I was quoted in the paper today saying there's a couple from Nebraska that goes to the Festival of Lakes every year, and they make it a point to come up and say hi to me every year. And they always say, we're from Nebraska. We drive in every year for this festival. And so it's a Midwest draw, especially when you get an act like Jelly Roll. And his concert is a one-off. He has a tour. I forgot who he's touring with. It's a major act. And he broke away from that tour for a smaller tour, and we're part of that smaller tour. So
wow, just amazing. Yeah. I mean, again, when you announced Jelly Roll, and granted, I mean, my taste in music. So if it's like if the band didn't disband in the 1970s, I probably don't have it on my phone. But you've brought in some great acts over the years. But Jelly Roll is probably one of the biggest acts you've ever had.
It's the biggest.
Is it really?
Dollars and cents wise, it's sold the most. Our previous biggest show was Lil Wayne, and Jelly Roll surpassed Lil Wayne a few weeks ago. So everything he's doing now is adding to the record for the Festival of the Lakes. It's completely sold out in the gold section. The silver section is still available at face price. So if you want to, and by the way, it's not like these are bad tickets. Silver section is the grass, and the grass is less than 50 yards from the stage. So it's a great ticket.
Again, it is a terrific event venue. So let's talk about the pavilion for a minute. I mean, the pavilion itself, people drive by it and they say, oh, yeah, it's a nice stage. But when you're in there, you basically have contoured the grass so it goes up toward the back. Mm-hmm. So there's really not a bad seat anywhere out there.
I agree. Even if as far back as you can get, it's still a great seat. But, I mean, so these face value silver tickets are going for, I think, $70, something like that, to see Jelly Roll. That's a great deal. You're not going to get that anywhere else on his tour.
And that's just it. I mean, you can go to other venues. You can go to the United Center, for example, and see somebody go down to Lucas Oil Stadium. You're going to pay a whole lot more money. So this is really a people say, $70, but $70 this day and age to see an act like Jelly Roll is pretty.
You can't even go to BW3s for $70. You and your spouse. I mean,
you're absolutely right. I mean, this day and age, entertainment has a premium price on it, and this is right in the backyard of Northwest Indiana. It's drawing people from all over the place. You've got 5 days of entertainment. So again, tonight is
freestyle, free parking. It's going to be parking. House music. Good night to get in there. Like I said, if you have a mega pass, get your kids out there, because a lot of times you got to park. You have to pay to park every other time. So we wanted to make it one day where, we brought in great acts with all of our DJs. CNC Music Factory's in there too. I don't know a lot of the DJs, but they're all real famous. So we're gonna have a great party in the venue, and then this is a great night at the carnival. And then tomorrow is Jelly Roll. That's gonna be
tomorrow night is Jelly Roll. Now
explain
to listeners and viewers. So when Jelly Roll is there, basically, there's some restrictions as far as the amusement park, right?
Yeah, you have to have a ticket to get into the park.
Okay.
So like tonight, if you have a mega pass, you can get in. Obviously, any other night you can get in. Tomorrow is a concert.
Right,
so if you don't have tickets to the concert,
you can use that mega pass up until a certain time, right?
I don't believe so.
No,
I believe
okay.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow
it's a concert. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, given the fact that it's Jelly Roll, I would think you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because if it was a weekend, it'd be one thing. We'd probably be able to be flexible. But tomorrow, pretty much everything starts in early afternoon, and you have to have a ticket to get in. Because if we didn't do that, people would go to the carnival and stay all day to watch the concert for free.
And just a shout out to your wife. So Jelly Roll is coming tomorrow, and so is Big Boy. Big Boy's coming to Hammond.
Yeah, Marissa
again
went
as
to
well.
see it last
Marissa,
time.
yeah, Marissa, big fan of it, and it was a great experience. But so you've got Jelly Roll tomorrow night, and then Friday you have Offspring.
Yeah,
and Offspring again. I'm told by
it's like 90s alternative.
Yeah, and my son and his friends are saying that one could be as big as Jelly Roll as far as
well, keep in mind, concerts we hold down the population. So Jelly Roll is going to have 16,000 people in the park, period, including the carnival, which is not that crowded because we have to accommodate the venue. And if you walk out into the carnival, you get to ride the rides for free, basically. I mean, meaning there's no lines on any other, because everybody's in there watching the concert. But think about a night like Sunday. We got Bando Recodo. Latin Night's always huge. It's a whole family event. We'll probably have 25,000 people in the park on Sunday versus Jelly Roll's concert, which will be about 16 or 17,000 people because it's a concert. So it'll be held down.
Speaking of Sunday, Sunday is also when the car show is, right?
Yes.
And if you
at the PAV,
right, people go to a lot of car shows. There's cruise night in downtown Whiting. There's cruise nights out in I think in Griffith and Crown Point, to name a few. But the one over at Wolf Lake is truly remarkable.
Yeah, it's great. We always have. I should bring my car out there sometime.
I was going to say, I was going to ask, is there a Mustang sitting out there?
Yeah, I'm always so burned out during the fest. It's hard for me to get to every event. Because by Sunday, I'm just cashed.
Yeah,
it's rough. You know how it is during Froggy
You're pretty
Fest.
worn out. Well, not this year. This year,
I know.
This
I know,
year,
but
I won't worry at all.
I know, but what I'm saying is you've been running Froggy Fest for a long time, and by the end of that 3-day weekend, you're wiped out. This is a 5-day week for us.
All you're thinking about on Sunday is how soon can it end.
Yep.
I mean, it really, you're watching your watch. And it's like, how much longer?
It's going to be hot all week. So
it is going to be hot, but the weather looks like it's going to cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get all of our shows off. It'll be hot though, and hot sucks. Meaning sometimes that hurts your crowd. Like some people won't come out until the sun goes down, kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
although the nice thing is that you're also on Wolf Lake. You do get a little bit of a cooling from the water. You're really,
that
you're almost on an island, to be very honest. I mean, if you look at Robertsdale and Whiting. It's just a couple 100 feet difference from being on an island, because you've got Wolf Lake, then you've got George Lake, then you've got Lake Michigan. So you're
surrounded by water.
Yeah, you really
for better or for worse. I mean, in the winter it's a little cold up there.
It's a little cold.
Yeah,
that's for sure, and it's a lot snowier than everywhere else too.
There's been a persistent rumor, and maybe with this whole Bears thing, I've been hearing a lot of people say, "Oh, this is the last year of the Festival of the Lakes." That's not true. I mean, I can tell you right now, there's nothing about what the Bears are looking at that worries me about the future of the Festival of Lakes. I wanted to say that on WJB because we're already looking at bands next year. So I have been hearing people come up to me, and it seems like there's a misconception that the Bears are going to annihilate the Festival of the Lakes, and that's not true. So
I think there are so many people that are excited about the Bears coming to Hammond that if you had to give it up for a year, they would.
I would. But if I had to give it up, I would.
Right.
I would.
But the rumor, you're right. The rumor persists. I think it comes originally from when you announced the Bears and somebody asked a question. I think at a press conference, and you said, hey, we'll have to deal with that. And then, of course, it takes on a life of its own right away.
Right.
The mayor said, and the mayor never really said that, but it nonetheless, people like to make those complaints. Let's talk about Saturday. We haven't talked about Saturday yet.
Moneybag Yo and Kevin Gates. Don't know very much about either of these artists. I'm out of that age demographic, but from what I understand, they're really, I can tell you, they're selling tons of tickets. We're expecting a huge crowd that night, a lot of excitement. I'm just sort of out of that circle. So
and again, it opens actually pretty early on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I mean it's open all day.
Right.
Saturday.
So
we
the
have
point
the fishing derby on Saturday.
Right. There's the fishing derby. There's a lot of activity, so you can get out there early. I mean, people, it's not. Look, it is in a way. It's all about the acts, but it isn't. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think it's Special Needs Day also. So, like, I know the kids that have, autism, stuff like that, they get to go to the park for a couple hours, and they're the only ones allowed in so that they can get there. And they'll run the rides with no noises and stuff like that during that time. So, a lot of kids that have trouble with, loud noises and bright lights, we tone it down for them.
I forgot about that. It's really kind of a unique aspect, but you take special care and special consideration for a lot of age groups. You mentioned senior citizens today. I noticed that you looked right at me when you said senior citizens because I'm going to be 66.
Oh wow!
66 in 2 weeks.
That's a good number.
I guess. I mean, it's inevitable. There's nothing I can do about it.
It's better than the alternative.
Well, that's true. I mean, you could be Lindsey Graham. I mean, my God, that's a shocker.
Yeah,
that was a shock. No matter whether you like the guy or not, it was just a shock to wake up and find out. No, and to find out that he died suddenly, and you think of people like Lindsey Graham, like he probably has access to the world's best health care. And then just goes. Wow. But getting back to Festival of Lakes, so you've got senior day today.
Right.
You've got Special Needs Day on Saturday.
Yep.
So you really try and cater to everybody, which is really nice.
Yeah, and don't forget we have the Polka Fest at the Hammond Marina on Sunday. That's another great event. That's, a few hundred people show up, and it's great
going
food.
On for many years.
Well, I hit the Cavs out there all the time, and we have great music, and it's right there at the Hammond Marina. It's all shady and very nice. So
again, it's transformational when I think about it, and again, I realize there's a big difference between Festival of Lakes and August Fest, but think about the fact that back in the day, your dad and the committee that I served on, we thought we were really like, growing August Fest by leaps and bounds when we decided to pull out a flatbed trailer and use it as a stage.
Right.
That was like
my first couple of years at Fest.
That's right. But it was, you had a little bit better. You had a couple of flatbeds, I think, and then you had a portable stage. But, but I mean, you look at it now. You've got this permanent installation. It's a spectacular installation. It's designed in prairie style, which a lot of people don't know that Frank Lloyd Wright's one of his famous drawings that shows kind of an entryway to Chicago is actually supposed to be Wolf Lake, and that's why the prairie style, and it matches the clubhouse at Lost Marsh. And so, you've got this phenomenal facility now, and there's plenty of parking. People say, well, if I go to the festival, there's no parking. That's not true either. You've got a lot of parking.
Oh, yeah. We have plenty of parking. I don't think we've ever filled up parking-wise because, worst case, we have 129th. So you have two different price levels for parking. $40 gets you closer, so you're more in Wolf Lake Park. And then if you want to go to the remote parking, we have shuttles back and forth provided by the North Township trustee. I want to thank Adrian Santos for helping us every year with that. And it's $20 parking. We put you on 129th, and you take a small shuttle to the – and there's no threats of rain really this week, so you don't have to worry about parking your car remotely. Because if I parked my car remotely and there was a chance of rain, I'd be worried because I've seen crowds just get soaked out there before. But that's not a threat this year.
Rain is rain. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But, usually – the good news is, as I recall, a lot of the rainstorms that have hit hit Festival Lakes actually have hit toward the end of the evening.
Yeah, usually.
So it's kind of an easy way to clear things out. I remember one of the worst storms. I think our kids were in high school, and I'm searching all over the place for my daughter, and I couldn't find her. And I'm like, where in the heck is Rachel at? And I actually got a call from your son, because your son was there with his friends, and Rachel and her friends came up, and they all ran to the fire station. That's where I picked them up.
Oh, nice.
And he called me, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Dabertin, it's Chase McDermott. Rachel doesn't have her phone, and her girlfriends don't have their phones, but they're all with us, and we're safe, and we're in.
That's cool.
You know, we're in the Robertsdale Fire Station. So that was the old Station 2, not the new Station 2. But again, usually when it rains, it's toward the end of the evening. So it's again, rain is rain.
Yeah, there's no threat this week. I mean, we might have a little bit, but it's going to be smooth. And we always have insurance for that. And it seems like every time I buy insurance, it never rains. So, and then if we didn't 1 year, the whole thing would get rained out.
It's a smart move, because you do never know. And so people need to understand that, look, there's a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of sponsors that go into Festival Lakes. But you really do cover all eventualities. So if it does get rained out.
I mean, we're spending a lot of money on these acts, so it would devastate me if we didn't, like if Jelly Roll got rained out and we spent all that money to get Jelly Roll. That would be devastating. So, yeah, we have insurance, but it seems like every year we buy it never rains. So,
and I want to dispel something else that seems to be a perennial rumor when it comes to Festival Lakes and a lot of other festivals, and that is security. Look, Hammond has a phenomenal police department. It has one of the largest police departments and an all-encompassing police department in Northwest Indiana. You've got.
I think we have the largest.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think we're larger than the sheriff's department. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, and I mean you've got a extremely professional department, and they take security at Festival Lakes extremely seriously.
Oh yeah.
And I used them for years at Pierogi Fest. I mean, the reason why Pierogi Fest is safe is really the Hammond Police Department. I mean, it really is.
Well, and we still partner with Pierogi Fest also. I know a lot of the cops love. I mean, they get a lot of overtime this time of year. They do overtime at the festival, and then a week later they do overtime at Pierogi Fest. But so this is a good time of year for the police department.
But it's a no-nonsense approach. I mean, if you see somebody and they're acting up, Hammond PD is on them, and it's like, okay, you're out of here.
Oh, they know who to look for, too.
Right.
So if they see, like, gang colors, anything like that, they don't even get in. All the cops are sitting right at the entry.
So people, will say, well, it's not safe to go there. That's just baloney, folks. It's extremely safe. People like to make up stories.
Well, we were talking about Chicago before I got on. You were talking about it, and there's people in the region that won't go to Chicago, which I think is insane. That's one of the best things about living where we live. But, I can't convince everybody that, going to one of the world's best cities is a good idea. And I certainly can't convince some people that going to the Festival of Lakes is safe. I mean, there's just some people that are just the way they are.
Well, both of us have done plenty of rides to Chicago over the years. And, yes, it's true. You will find periodically there will be a story about there was an attack or there was an incident somewhere along the bike trails to downtown Chicago. But when you look at the number of people, the sheer number of people that ride those paths, the odds are that at some point something's going to happen to someone. You're talking about millions of people. Yeah. So,
I've been on bike trails for 25 years. I've never felt uncomfortable.
Me either.
I never really stop and mess around though either. I'm going 20 miles an hour directly pointed to where I'm going. So.
Yeah, the only problem I ever have on bike trails are people that are riding a lot slower than me.
Or now we're getting a lot of the scooters and the gas powered vehicles and the golf carts and stuff like that, and that's going to be dealt with. I know governments are dealing with that right now as they have a lot more going on the bike trails than bikes now, and that's, dangerous.
And the other is when you get to downtown Chicago, and I've had this twice, where people stop and they want to take a photo of the skyline.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the bike path.
Right.
Okay. And you've got this Clydesdale of a person, meaning me, coming at you at like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I had one time, the woman literally threw her kid out in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I ditched my bike. In fact, I ended up having to take the South Shore back because I ruined my bike.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm screaming at her, and she's like, oh, but I wanted to get the photo. I wanted my son in the photo. It's like, well, okay, but I almost ran your son over. And she was like, well, if you would have hit him, I would have sued you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, I would have killed him too. But, again, getting back to Festival Lakes, that's another concept. You could ride your bike to Festival Lakes. I mean, it's thanks to you, we've got the premier bike pass system in Northwest Indiana.
We do.
I mean, you can ride. You can ride almost anywhere.
Is the best. I agree. You can go anywhere. I regularly ride up to Whiting. That's where I always take the bike trail up to Whiting, do a circle around Whiting, and go back home.
Well, Sunday, Donna wanted me to ride bikes, and she knew how to get me to take a long ride. So she said, look, tell you what, let's ride out to Lansing. We'll go to Gaiety's. You can have an ice cream
nice.
Sunday, and then come back. And it was great. It was a wonderful
cool.
ride. I mean, speaking of things, though, I do want to mention, you guys did a nice job recovering with all the damage that occurred in West Hammond.
That was rough. Yeah, it was rough.
I mean,
area around Harrison Park got destroyed. I mean, Harrison Park, I don't want to say it's destroyed, but I've never seen it in worse shape. Probably 30 trees down, big 100-year-old trees.
Easily.
We lost power to the sanitary district. We lost NIPSCO lost 20,000 customers, and we got 5 inches of rain. And if you have power loss and 5 inches of rain, that means your sump pumps aren't working in your house. So I don't know.
Yeah,
dozens and dozens of homes were underwater.
The number of trees that I saw along the trail and in Harrison Park on Sunday just amazed me.
The bike trail was destroyed too. By the way,
and they've got it cleared off
down.
though. They've got them cleared off. I mean, there's a few remnants on the side, but did a phenomenal job cleaning it up. Tell you what, why don't we take a quick break and we'll come right back to Mayor McDermott on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7.
You want to take some phone calls?
We'll take some calls as well.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention, and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
I'm Pastor Eric Boone, pastor of the Tree of Life Church here in the great city of Gary, Indiana. The Notre Dame Credit Union. Go beyond and above to make sure that we are in position to make that greater impact. Listen, this credit union is one of a kind, and I'm looking forward to the future because I know that we will continue to do greater things together, and I'm forever grateful for a credit union like this.
Visit NotreDameFCU.com.
Hey Region, I'm T, and I grew up in East Chicago, went to college in Gary, worked out of Munster, and raised my family in Crown Point. I'm Region to the core. I created Region Hot Sauce, the flavor of the region. Add it to chicken, fish, pizza, eggs, and more for the perfect blend of heat and flavor. Visit RegionHotSauce.com for a complete list of locations or to order direct. Region Hot Sauce, the flavor of the region.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
All right, we're back, and we've got Mayor McDermott sitting in the studios this morning, so 845-1100. We're going to go to the calls, and we've got a caller. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah, I've got a question about Wolf Lake, but to point out to your audience, the Gaiety ice cream places in downtown Lansing, and not only do they have ice cream cones, they also sundaes and kitty sundaes and banana splits. They also have a wonderful collection of chocolate candy, including sugarless candy. And the parking is on the north side of the building between the Gaiety and the post office kind of thing.
All right,
but
there
in
you
any
go.
case, Wolf Lake. Why do they call it Wolf Lake? I mean, we haven't had wolves around this area for an awful long time. Why is it called? What's the official explanation as to why it's called Wolf Lake.
All right, thanks for the question. I have no clue.
I have no clue either. You know what?
Like,
maybe David Dabertin's listening, and maybe he knows the answer. But I will say this: it's kind of interesting, Walt, when you ride the trail just south of where the festival is going on. There are some islands. Those islands actually have existed. Not Boy Scout Island. Everybody knows where Boy Scout Island is, but the islands that run just off the trail at the south end have been out there actually all the way back to the 1800s. There's a photo that my brother David actually found somewhere, and it's a picture of John G. Shedd with his boat, and the boat looks like the same boat that was in the African Queen movie.
No way.
And it's tied up there, and I know that Shedd made a lot of money after the Great Chicago Fire. Wolf Lake basically used to be connected to Lake Michigan. The channel was the Wolf River. And they actually clear-cut a lot of trees from northwest Indiana to help rebuild downtown Chicago. So I can give you that much information, Walt.
All
right. Hey, thanks for the call. 845-1100. Let me ask you an update if there is on the Bears. Where are we at?
It's since they announced their new location, they didn't announce their new location. I think it's been surmised by many people where the new location is. We knew that if there was going to be a new, because initially this started, let's just say, after Halloween, and we started seeing trucks pounding holes in Wolf Lake Park and the Lost Marsh and that whole area around there. And then it took a couple months before they got the results back and they analyzed them. So when the Bears started talking about this new location they were interested in Hammond, it's close to the original location. We knew that it was going to set us back, and we're in that period right now. They're still literally pounding holes. They were out yesterday, and because they have to do locates through us, so we know that it's the Bears because.
But again, if the Bears locate there, you're eliminating Wolf Lake terminals and, basically an area that never is really fit when it comes to the south end of Wolf Lake.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into details myself. No. I'm going to let you guys talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
But because I'm under an NDA, so. But, we knew that, so basically to answer your question, Tom, we're in that period of time where they're pounding holes, they're analyzing the results they get, and we just got to wait for this to play out before. We know that the area they're looking at is clean because we're the city of Hammond. We know these things, but the Bears are going to verify before they invest billions of dollars into an area. So
and again, people don't realize, I think, how imminent this project could be. I mean, you're talking about a groundbreaking possibly yet this year.
I would hope.
I mean, there would be.
I don't want this to go past Labor Day personally.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it should take. It should be sometime in September, and if it's not, then we're going to start talking about the Illinois legislature again, and I don't really feel like doing that.
And we're not just talking about Bear Stadium. So you're talking about hotels, you're talking about restaurants, you're talking about gaming facilities. There's all kinds of things that these modern stadiums create these huge developments. I mean, people say, "Oh, well, they're just going to put a stadium up." It's like, no.
Nope.
There's going to be, a phenomenal number of jobs and opportunities associated with the Bears Stadium.
I said this. I forgot which station I was on when I was talking about this, but Tom, we're all old enough to remember that Rosemont back in the day was nothing. It was O'Hare Airport, and that's basically it up there. And now you go up there, and there's a whole development area around Rosemont. And it just sort of blew up when they built the casino up there. And it's beautiful. It's very big city-ish, sort of Vegas type of vibe, Reno, Vegas type of vibe, Atlantic City, I guess. It just sort of blew up out of nowhere, though. And I'm comparing what we're talking about here in Hammond to Rosemont. I think you'll see a similar type of development. Once this stadium locates, you're going to see a huge area around it blow up. I've been calling it Bearsville, but Rosemont's probably what I have in mind, seeing what happened over there and seeing what could happen in Indiana here.
It just changes everything. It's just you talk about transformational. It would be probably the biggest change to Northwest Indiana since Rockefeller decided to build an oil refinery.
I agree with you, Tom. I think it's a game changer for all of us. And I know that this word gets thrown around a lot. Sometimes you do a street and then mayors are like, "Oh, this is a transformational project." It's like, okay, so that word gets thrown around a lot. It's a buzzword. This is going to remake the city of Hammond. Like I said, this development we're talking about is worth more than the entire city.
Yeah,
this development.
Yeah,
it's worth more than the entire city of Hammond. So,
however, I've again got to point out this isn't the only. You didn't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, the Bears Stadium would be transformational. It'd be an amazing opportunity for all of Northwest Indiana. But in the meantime, there's a lot of new development going on in Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah, we just closed a crane company from Illinois last week, USCO. We did the ribbon cutting. The groundbreaking. They're going to be building their national headquarters in Hammond right there. We're right across the street from Spohn School, basically. $25 million facility, 100 high-paying jobs coming over from Illinois. I mean, when I say high-paying, they're six-figure jobs coming over from Illinois. So,
and then you've got the development just up the street over here where Petros was.
Yeah,
Petros family decided to retire.
It's going to be a Chipotle and a Dutch Brothers there where the Petros is.
Yeah, and I just want to point out again, it wasn't displacing them.
Right.
It was that they were closing. And so you got new development to come
Petros
right in.
Sold.
Yeah, and
they got a good deal too, by the way. They're going to go off in retirement and spend the money they made on this development and retire, which is a happy ending.
And if you think back 20 years ago, you had basically a pretty much shuttered, old, dilapidated mall across the street, which is now home to the largest YMCA in the nation.
Yeah, and they just announced in today's paper the water park expansion. We've been working closely with the Y to get the water park built, and they said it's going to be open by 2028. They're going to probably start construction at the end of this year. It's a $10 million addition. It's going to be $10 to $15 million. Outdoor lap lanes, outdoor water slides, outdoor lazy river. The type of thing you pay to go to a water park for is going to be right here in Hammond.
So you'll have both Dabertin brothers out there. David can be in the lap lanes, and I'll be on the lazy river.
Nice.
So there you go. 845-1100. Let's take a call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, hi. You guys talking about the development of the Bears Stadium. I think that the other thing I'd love to see around here, this is a great time, a great opportunity to actually do something with this airport in Gary. I think that whatever should be done now, since you got this fire sale going on in Illinois, if we could negotiate with some of these airlines that are flying out of Midway, maybe even O'Hare, to move some of their gates over here to the Gary Airport. That airport has got runways like 50% longer than anything in Midway. You got enough land there to actually, I would love to see some flights make that our third regional airport here. And I think this is a golden opportunity. You've got an administration in Washington right now that is not really in love with the Illinois Democrats. And I think now would be the time to actually move on this to do something with developing that airport. So what do you guys think?
No, I could tell you you're right on the pulse. Okay, I'm in the room with all the bigwigs of the state of Indiana, and I could tell you that there's definitely talk about the Gary Airport along with this Bears deal. And I could also tell you there's talk from the Bears end as well that they're interested in that as well. I've heard statements coming from the Bears that said we want basically the opposing team to fly into the Gary Airport and take the 10-minute drive from the Gary Airport to Bearsville and Hammond and stay right there, and they'll be adjacent to the stadium. And then when they leave, it's a 10-minute drive to the Gary Airport, and they fly out. I know that's for a fact that's part of the deal. Well, and you're going to hear more about that soon, sir. But you're right on the pulse.
When there's a huge amount of charter flights too that go to Bears games and those kinds of games.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you've actually got everything going for Gary. You've got the interstates right there. You're right at the south end of the lake. You're right at the edge of the Metroplex here. And, there hadn't been any reason for the last 50 years that that's not our third airport, except for politics out of Illinois. And now I think is the time to move on this. I would just love to see that kind of development, because I think one of the things that's been sort of holding Northwest Indiana back all this time is we've been living in the shadow of Cook County, and I think it's time we get out from under that.
I agree with you. And like I said, you're going to hear a lot more about this issue soon, and I agree that it's an important part of the Bears project is the Gary Airport. So
okay,
great point.
See it. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks. Yeah,
yes,
again, I know that the number of charter flights, for example, that they go down to, say, like Fort Lauderdale Airport, in Miami, is huge when the Dolphins are playing. I
Right.
mean, it actually
Notre Dame games, same.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, you get all these charter flights, and before you know it, I would think that, like a Legion Air, for example, which is really growing by leaps and bounds in a lot of markets, but not in the Chicago market, I would think that they'd be an opportunity over at Gary Airport. There are other airlines that just don't service the Chicago area because it's basically dominated by United Airlines and American Airlines and Southwest, and so this gives another opportunity. I think the caller's right on target. 845-1100. We've got another caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
This is Jack. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Tom, your neighbor.
Thank you, Tom.
I got a question
Yeah.
about Klein Avenue. I don't know if you guys can answer or not, but that guy brought up an interesting comment about Gary Airport. In the mid-'90s, when they did 8094, they put all the new ramps and exits and entrances. Why wasn't Klein Avenue widened to 4 lanes and their exits and entrances modernized? Because it seems like that's a complete bottleneck, during rush hour.
Yeah, it's a. I'm not sure.
I was just wondering if you guys ever is there anything on the books to like, hey, maybe we got to look at this too, because when the Bears come here, I'm sure you guys are going to be looking for all the avenues of quick coming in and quick coming out.
Right. Klein Avenue is not really. They don't talk to mayors about projects like that. That's INDOT. That's county. But I'm not sure why they didn't widen it. But I know they're working on it right now. And it's painful because they got Klein Avenue shut down going southbound off 8094, and that's it hit me last night again. I've had to take that detour 3 or 4 times already. So
yeah, it is definitely a problem with the construction. But one point I've made over the years about Klein Avenue, it is one of the ugliest roadways in Northwest Indiana.
It's nasty.
Okay? And they're not making it any more attractive right now. They're fixing that center wall, which is kind of a mess, and they're just patching it. And the patches don't.
Right now.
I mean, it's just ugly. It's not well maintained. It's usually quite dirty,
and the traffic speed is very fast.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a raceway.
It's almost forgotten.
Yeah, I agree. It's a commuter for the mills, basically, or a shortcut, I guess. It used to be a shortcut to Chicago.
However,
now you have to pay. So.
However, if you've got the Bear Stadium at the other end of it now, it makes it a whole different. Whole different equation.
Well, I could tell you, I know there's $600 million in infrastructure that's going into place with new exits, new off ramps, things of that nature. So maybe Klein Avenue widening is part of that. So thanks for the call.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
845-1100. We have another caller? No. Okay. That's another aspect. I'm glad the caller brought it up because there's another aspect of the Bear Stadium, which is, you said $600 million in investment in infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a few people, for example, live up by me in Robertsdale, and they say, oh, well, if the Bear Stadium gets built, it's going to cause backup to our sewers. It's like, it's not going to have any impact whatsoever on our sewers.
It's going to help because they're going to dump tons of money into the sewer system, stormwater system. Everything's going to be drastically improved. I mean, they're talking about a massive investment into our system.
Again, people come up with the craziest concerns and rumors. I mean, I actually had somebody tell me one day, I was riding my bike on 119th Street. The guy flagged me down, and he starts telling me that if they build the Bears Stadium, he says, when there's a game, and they all use those bathrooms and they flush those toilets, it's going to back up in our basements. It's like, you've got to be kidding me, right? I mean, you think they're really going to route it? Like they're going to route it into, the Davis Avenue Interceptor? I don't think so.
Right.
But people come up with crazy rumors. So you're talking about, basically new interchanges, probably on the toll road, probably on Klein Avenue, improvements to Calumet Avenue, which you've worked on for years, trying to get the state to put actual storm drains along Calumet Avenue, especially like at 129th Street, which floods basically.
Yeah, they're going to have to improve that whole area.
Yeah. It floods on a sunny day. People have asked, what about, this is, I think, a legitimate question. What about the high power tension wires that run through there, the NIPSCO lines?
Burying utilities is definitely part of the cost.
Okay.
Definitely. It's I'm not sure about the ones
The
that
high
are,
lines?
I'm not sure about those because that's extremely expensive if you're going to bury that. But I know, like along Calumet Avenue, all the utilities that NIPSCO is priced out, how much it's going to cost to bury all the utilities in that entire area. I'm not sure about the high tension lines though, Tom. Those are 365,000 volt. Those are usually not buried. But those are so high up, it's really, you could see them, but you don't really pay attention. It's the ones that are,
Yeah, again, people, people don't realize the change they could have on that whole area. I mean, I think you have 144 kVs on Calumet Avenue.
Mhm.
Those would get buried, so that's an improvement. And if you live up in Robertsdale and Whiting and you complain about all the frequent outages, folks, a lot of that has to do with the utility poles along Calumet Avenue and Indianapolis Boulevard. So
most of the
gets
outages
addressed.
we have, like you said, are trees falling into the lines. That's most of the outages we have. It's
Trees
not
or
like
cars.
NIPSCO just stops making electrons. It's the electrons can't get to your house. And it's because a tree fell and knocked it out, and there more maybe 20 trees fell and knocked out 20 lines.
Right.
And then NIPSCO has to clean up all those different tree falls before they could energize the line.
Or the number of people who drive into telephone poles, unfortunately, in
Mhm.
Hammond, which is insane. But I mean,
but the telephone poles will go away, hopefully, as part of this, because those are holding up power lines a lot of times. So.
Right, so it changes. Again, you're talking about an immense amount of investment into infrastructure, changes everything, changes the appearance. Hotels and restaurants. I've had conversation with a hotel owner from Indianapolis who is involved with Lucas Oil Stadium and who has said that, yes, they believe that the Bears Stadium is quite possible. And a longtime client and said, yeah, and if it happens, we'll be positioned to come in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they're very excited. And once again, these are people from outside the area that are saying, this is a real opportunity. This is not a smokescreen. We're not getting played any longer. Just Indiana versus Illinois. This is a real possibility right now.
Illinois is not doing anything right now, which is great.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that's happening right now with the Bears Stadium is they're punching holes in their new location, and they know everything about the entire area. They've already analyzed, and quite frankly, it's clean. So I think this latest development, I think it's wonderful because if it does work out, everything that we have in Robertsdale is going to be complemented by what they're doing instead of taking away. Because there's some thought for a while, there's some fear that maybe the golf course is going to go under this proposal. This new development it's going to complement everything in Robertsdale, which I love. So I'm real happy that we're taking this detour. I realize it's more time, but I think it's a better plan than the original plan. So
well, and again, it also says a lot about you though, because, and I know personally off the air, you've told me you've taken some heat for the fact that you're working with a Republican governor, which I thought was absolutely one of the dumbest thing that I've heard. But you told me, I mean, you've taken some heat. The fact is that you're a Democrat. You're working with Republicans. You're working with everybody to get this done, and that's I think what's lacking across the line in Illinois. Even though they have an Illinois, the governor is a Democrat, the legislature is primarily Democrat, and the mayor of Chicago is Democrat, but they're all arguing. And in the case of Indiana, you're all working together. And that's what's making
I can tell you
difference.
that Mr. McCaskey specifically mentioned that to me.
Really?
So, yeah, he wants to see that. I think America wants to see Republicans and Democrats working together. That's happening here in Indiana. We're making it happen, which is great. I want to thank Governor Braun, Speaker Houston, Senator Mishler. Everybody's been working so hard with me and my team, and it's gone amazingly well. And we're about to pull off a big deal, and bipartisanship works. So I think that's what America wants to see.
It's a game changer for all of Northwest Indiana. It would just mean a huge amount of difference to Hammond, but to everybody else, and it's exciting. But let's finish up with doing the rundown again for Festival of Lakes, because we want to make sure we promote Festival of Lakes
tonight's
right
free parking, freestyle. So it's DJ, house music. A lot of DJs. I'm not doing it justice. These are famous DJs from all across the Chicagoland area coming to the fest tonight to play house music. It's going to be 80s based. It's free parking, free entry. Everything's free tonight. I mean, everything's not free. Once you get there, you pay the normal prices, but you won't have to pay to park. Tomorrow we have Jelly Roll. It's a ticketed concert. You can't even get into the carnival without a ticket to the concert. So that's going to be It's going to be locked down unless you're going to see the show tomorrow. Friday, we get back to normal routine, meaning it's open. Normal parking fees apply Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Friday, we have The Offspring. Saturday, we have Rap Night with Moneybagg Yo and Kevin Gates. And on Sunday, we have Bando Recodo for Latin Night. We also have on Sunday, we're playing the World Cup final on a big screen TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it starts at 2 o'clock. So
Wow.
yeah, if you want to come out and
really
watch
cool.
the World Cup final, that'll be
So
available.
you've got the World Cup final. You've got the don't forget the car show on
Yep.
Sunday. Saturday
Fishing
is
Derby on Saturday.
Fishing Derby. Special Needs Day is on Saturday.
Senior
as well.
days today. Golf outings on Friday. We have a lot of stuff going on in that part of the city. So
Sure
Festival
do.
of the Lake's always fun. It's always tiring, but we work our butts off for the next 5 days for everybody to enjoy that part of our city. It's a
And
beautiful
again,
part.
it's grown by leaps and bounds since 2004.
Yes, sir.
I mean, just amazing. So go out, enjoy it. And Mayor, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Tom. Good to see you.
We'll talk to you again in about 6 weeks. Appreciate having you come on. Thank you so
Good to
much.
see you.
We'll
Bye.
take a quick break. You're listening to the Morning Call on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Enjoy the taste of summer at the Farmers Market at Fox Point. Every Tuesday from 9 to 1, shop locally grown fresh produce, delicious baked goods, artisanal treats, and local culinary creations. Just minutes from I-8094, the Farmers Market at Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is a perfect spot to hear acoustic musicians, stretch with morning yoga, and enjoy community fun throughout the season. To see all vendors and entertainment, visit foxpoint.org. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
All right, and again, you're listening to WJOB 1230 AM and 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. I kind of feel sorry for the mayor, and the reason why I say that is he has got to be just totally wiped out. I know Festival of Lakes takes a lot out of him. I know it firsthand, knowing him as long as I have, and running a festival is a huge challenge, but my God, you're talking about a you add on the pressure from the Bears project, and wow, I mean, he is taking an awful lot on right now. By the way, this is interesting, and I don't know whose this is, but somebody, I think, lost a contact sitting here. That was a contact lens. I pitched it to the floor. So if you've been sitting here doing WJOB or a podcast and you lost a contact, well, not anymore. It's on the floor. 845-1100 is the number to call. I mean, seriously, he talked about so many issues, and it was great to have him on this morning, but physically exhausting would be the way I would describe him right now. Not that he looks that way. I mean, looks like he's doing great, but just knowing how much stuff he's involved in right now, it's got to take a toll on him. I don't care. He's in good shape. He's like younger than me. He's 9 years younger, but it's got to take a toll with all this pressure. 845-1100. We've got some callers. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
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 Yes.
Hey, are you guys getting the pierogies ready?
Well, they are. I'm not, because I'm not involved in Pierogi Fest this year. I retired from it last year.
Geez, Tom, you're not doing pierogies?
No, I'm not doing Pierogi Fest anymore. As I
I
mentioned,
was Jelly Roll.
Well, as I mentioned before,
he needs the pierogies.
Well, he probably would like some pierogies, but I'll tell you what.
He would love them filled with Ozempic.
Well, after 31 years of Pierogi Fest, it was time to hang it up. And
Tom,
I'm letting other people do it.
The best.
Well, I'm letting other people
for all
handle
your hard blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, you know what?
Industry.
It's a tribute. It's a tribute to. Hopefully, it'll be very successful. It is.
Where did pierogies come from? Where they? Is that like Hungarian? I mean, what nationality are Swedish?
Oh, pierogies. You can find them in just about every East European culture. Certainly, Polish, Slovak. You'll find them in Hungarian. Cultures, as you said, but pierogies are very popular in East European cultures, and then they're also popular in other cultures. For example, Japan has Goja Fest, and Goja Fest is largely Goja Fest is just like a pierogi. It's a dumpling.
Dingleberry.
They came out some years ago. The organizers, to see our festival, they came from Japan. And one of the organizers got very inebriated, and she then found an interest in chasing after the guy in a grass skirt and coconut bra. I had to kind of keep my distance from her. She was pretty drunk in there. When you think about it, they have Empanada Fest in Whiting in September, because a lot of people say that empanadas are somewhat similar. So there's some similarities. One thing I always point out is
empanadas are pretty good.
Well, the one thing I always point out is, you can call them empanadas, you can call them pierogies, you can call them dumplings, goja, but the fact is that there's some commonality in all of them. All right, they're all made from dough. That dough is made from flour and water and egg, and so there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of differences, but it also shows really how small this world is and how our cultures meld together. And that's one of the nice things about Pierogi Fest. But I got to say, it's an exciting lineup for Festival of Lakes this year. I mean, Jelly Roll.
I know.
That is a...
Assessment or not... Jelly Roll wants the Ozempic pierogi.
well, I'll tell you what, it is
he's going to be hot up there, Tom. I don't know how he's going to handle the heat out there.
You know what? They'll make it work. They'll make it work. It'll be... The sun will be down. The sun will be down. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Hey, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it.
The offspring, baby. Keep them separated. Offspring.
All right,
Have
offspring.
A good day, Tom.
All right, take care. I wish I knew Offspring, but all I know is that it's a band. 845-1100, we're going to take this call, and we're going to take a quick break. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, just a real quick question regarding the finances of this project for the Bears, because the money's going to go out the window first, and then everybody hopes for economic expansion with hotel, money from taxes, the standard the water will fall down, the money will, roll downhill to the taxpayers and et cetera. But has Hammond or the state put together, let's say, some sort of spreadsheet analysis showing how this will actually function? And, we had that because someone on WJOB as a host had the guy from Indianapolis on who went through like all the gigantic football stadiums and everything around the country, saying, it really never works economically. You spend $20 billion, you get maybe 10 back. So I'm just wondering, if anybody's done that yet with your project. I'll hang up. Thank you.
So the fact is that there have been some analysis done. It's a state project. Okay, the mayor who just left, the mayor is certainly in a driver's seat, but he's not driving the bus on this one. It's really being driven by the state of Indiana. It's a state project. And so everything from land acquisition to financing really is up to the state of Indiana. There are some local taxes. There's a food and beverage tax, and there's a tax on, basically an admissions tax for the stadium, but everybody pays that, and an increased hotel tax, which, again, Northwest Indiana has one of the lowest hotel taxes right now of anywhere in the nation. So for them to increase the hotel tax doesn't bother me a bit, because most of those taxes, 2 of those 3 taxes, will not be paid by the average resident. The food and beverage tax will get paid by the average resident. It'll be in Lake and Porter County. But that's the extent of the exposure that Northwest Indiana has for this project. So, hey, with that, let's, Mad Mac, I wish you would call me back after the break, but we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. You're listening to The Morning Call. Don't forget, at 8:30 is Think Park. So we got about 20 minutes left, folks. Thanks.
Come to Bands, Bikes, and Brews on Saturday, July 18th at Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois. A celebration of rock, motorcycles, and cold brews explodes at 3 p.m. with live music from Grindstone, Fatal Order, and Count 77. Rock out with headliner LA Guns. Rev up with special guest and bike judge Danny the Count Coker from the History Channel's Counting Cars. Admission is just $20. For tickets or to register your bike, visit foxpoint.org. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways and bridges are more than just cones and equipment. They're the workplace for thousands of dedicated union laborers.
Everybody has a family that they need to get back home to, so please just pay attention to us out here while we're working.
We all have family, and I know it's a pain in the ass, but we're trying to make the roads better for y'all.
We're doing this for everyone.
We're hardworking Hoosiers, just like you, and we all want to make it home safely.
People would just take a couple seconds to pay attention.
Be aware of where we're at, where the cone zones are at. We're all in this together, and we're all just trying to be safe.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
Fishing for a seafood meal without the stress or mess of cooking? Leave the work to the Strachan Van Til Seafood Department. For just $1 extra per pound, we'll fry, grill, or steam your fish with your choice of 3 kinds of breading. Try our fish and seafood dinners. Each includes a half pound each of seafood and fries, and a quarter pound of coleslaw. Want the freshest catch in town? Reel in the fish and seafood selections from your local Strachan Van Til.
We're back, and this is a really unique way to run a talk show, but I have to actually go up to Michigan this morning, and the show runs another 15 minutes or so, and so I am actually going to take your calls from the car as I drive to Michigan this morning. So 845-1100 is the number to call, and Lynette is going to tell me if we have callers, and we do have callers, so let's take those calls. So go right to the calls. Good morning, you're on the air.
What's up, homie?
Hey, how is this for dedication to the job, Mad Mac? I am taking your call from the car as I drive to Michigan. How about that?
I was just gonna say you sound different, and then I call in. McDermott's talking to one caller, Okay, next caller. Click. And what did he jump out the window over there? Where'd he go?
No, he had to leave. He had to leave at 8 o'clock. He had to leave at 8 o'clock. So that's why that ended. We ended at 8 o'clock because he had. I mean, let's face it. He had to get up early, okay, to be on the radio with me. He's going to be up until 11 o'clock, easy. Probably more like midnight tonight, and then all the fun starts again tomorrow at the same time. So, he's got other things to do. He still has to be the mayor of Hammond.
He looked like he missed his Starbucks call this morning. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he does like his coffee. I mean, that's something.
He seemed like he was like he's stuck in second gear or whatever. But now, so let me get this straight. Are we live on the air right now?
We are live on the air right now. Yes, sir.
And I'm sitting at my humble estate, and you're driving in a car going down the road, and Lynette's in the studio running this little deal?
That's right.
And how come it is every time Jed walks in the studio, cords become unplugged, the YouTube goes down, you only got half a speaker going, or God only knows, and you're pulling this little technological marvel off with where are you going right now? Down I-65 to Indy or something, or where you got to go?
No, I have to go to Michigan. I facilitate a strategic planning retreat every year at this time, so I'm headed to Michigan right now. And about the time I get there, I'll probably have about 10, 15 minutes to transition to facilitating that event, and it's a 2-day event. So there you go. And my concern was,
good Lord.
Normally I stay till 8:30, but to be very honest with you, because I'm looking at traffic the entire time, I realized, and again, this was impromptu. This was not planned. I would have just had Jed come in and take the half hour, but I'm looking at traffic and I see how traffic is backing up this morning for the very route that I need to take. And of course, I can't keep the client waiting, so I needed to get out of there.
Well, at least you sound decent on my phone. I hope you sound good on the air on YouTube. I don't want to pull it up right now to see how it goes, but congratulations, Lynette, for pulling this off.
You know what? Lynette is a very competent, capable producer. She really is. She does a phenomenally good job. She, has to put up with me. She has to put up with you, too. And she does a really good job.
Sorry, my mic was on. Thank you.
There you go. See, she listens to us too. So you were at Walhalla Beach yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. It was. I got to tell you, man, I was going over there for years and years and years. You kind of hit the skids at the end of COVID there when all these dirt bags from Illinois came over and littered and all that other malarkey. I couldn't stand it. But, the beach looked great last night. The bike paths were all clean and everything. No problems. I didn't know no problems of any kind. Boy, I tell you what, the water's almost it's like, boy, when are they going to dump the ice in there? I mean, 4 feet total of water in that diving area over by the sanitary district where I dive off that pier and that. Heck, 4 feet of water, man. It was like bath water on top. You had to go deep to get cold. But it was the beach looked great. Credit to Whiting for having the place looking fantastic.
Yeah, they really do a good job, and the number of people that come out there are about 300,000 people a summer that hit that beach. So when you think about it, you're talking about a really small group of workers, probably less than a dozen that maintain that. And when you've got 300,000 people day in and day out, the amount of trash and the amount of mess that they can create. It's remarkable that they get it cleaned up so quickly.
You guys could use a few more garbage cans out there. I will say that, because I get if you can't get to them, but so they're a little overflowing. But, just throw an extra 55-gallon there. And then one more thing. Hey, listen, it's illegal to do weed. Quit doing weed when there's kids around, okay? You morons. Weed is illegal, and it's never ever good for you, no matter what D-Lo tells you. It's never good. Just stop it at the beaches, because you're embarrassing yourself as an adult. You don't want to be doing that around kids. And your guys too. I mentioned to you a couple of your, I don't know if they're the volunteer guys in those Whiting Park cars, whatever. Oh, no, it's not on our list. Hey, listen, Einstein, get out of the car. Just walk up and politely say, you can't do that. Please put it away now. No one's asking you to, to put them on a rack and stretch them or something, or, behead them. But you can't it's just ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous.
Well, the Whiting police take a very no-nonsense approach to those kinds of things, but it has to be a police officer that takes that on. But again, they do a good job out there, and there are some people that were very upset earlier this year.
If you've got people out there who are assigned to patrol the beach and they're wearing the yellow outfit that says Whiting Park District, whatever, like I said, you don't have to go up and shoot them, but just go, hey, you can't do that here. I don't want to bring the police into this, so please just put it away. There's children on the beach, and we just can't do that here. It's illegal. Thank you very much, and walk away. That's not confrontational. That's just asking them to follow the GD law.
Yeah, but you know what? This day and age, Mad Mac, it really, the best thing is to refer it to a police officer. What?
Then get them out there. Then send a cop out. Well, you can't keep saying fuck all this stuff. It's pathetic liberalism. It never works.
Well, it's better to let the police handle it. If they do see it, I know that they do refer to the police right away. The police do show up, but to be honest with you, this day and age, the way people are, as crazy as they are, you don't want to have somebody that's doing parking patrol telling people that they can't have marijuana because you don't know what they're capable of in response.
Then you'll have to bring out a cop and shoot them and then bury them right on the beach in the same 30 seconds and get it all over with in one fell swoop. But back to the beach.
Well, you know what?
Look great,
you could open up a second business. It could be Mad Max funeral services. You could do it right on the beach.
Yeah, free margarita with every burial. Down you go. Hey, I was kind of bummed, though. McDermott walked out. And, Tom, if you're listening to the show, I am looking for tickets for Friday night for the Offspring. I'm doing my annual trying to get free tickets here from any politician who'll have me. So, Friday night, 2 tickets, Tommy. Let me know.
Hey, tell me about Offspring, okay? Because my son says they're huge. It's a big deal. Name a song that I would know from Offspring. What are they like?
I would say keep them separated now. Da 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 da. You remember that song? You gotta keep them separated.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a huge. I mean, I'm not the best singer, but they've got a huge catalog. They're from California, and the funny thing is when I think 3 or 4 of them got together to start the band. Like any kid starting a band, when you're, 15, 16, you're interested in 2 things, girls and alcohol. So none of them were old enough to buy alcohol in California at the time. So they hit up the school janitor, who at the time was maybe like 30, 35. And they said, hey, dude, can you get us some, beer? He's like, sure, yeah, why not? And then he says, hey, I play an instrument. And they're like, what? And I think he's the bass player or rhythm guitar. And they're like, well, God, we could maybe use you other than just buying us beer. So that's how they ended up started out. And, they were running up and down the coast of Cali doing their shows and everything. And they just became super, super popular. I mean, it used to be a stadium band for sure. I've seen them like probably 7, maybe 8 different times. I saw them one time in California.
How do you know all of this? You are like an encyclopedia when it comes to entertainment. Walt talks about like things going on in history, and you're like a walking encyclopedia. You've seen them 8 or 9 times. You know their whole story. I mean, that's very impressive.
I know nothing. I'm an imbecile. Please don't kid yourself. I do know that the lead singer, though, has a PhD. He just got his PhD, I think, from University of California. I think in something like either biophysics or biochemistry or some almost like physics, basically. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the guy who really knows everything about music is the old guy that had the show on there before, Danny McNeil. That's a guy who is literally almost encyclopedic in terms of his knowledge of music. That guy.
Yeah, but your knowledge of entertainment. I mean, you know movies. You know performance.
Nah.
You know a lot. It's pretty impressive.
I read a little here and there. Yeah, but the Offspring will be a great. I mean, they just roll, and their catalog of songs. I mean, they'll be playing hits from start to finish, and they are a band that opens up at going about 90 miles an hour, and they never take their foot off the pedal. It'll be a great show Friday. I know that Jelly Roll's really popular with the country and the hillbilly people and the people from down in Lowell who date their cousins and sisters and brothers and that. So that'll be a popular show. But Offspring will be absolutely fantastic, and it's going to be only like 98 degrees the entire day. So get ready to lose some weight and don't dehydrate though. That's for sure.
If you're an elected official listening to this, Mad Mac has made his annual appeal for free tickets.
Yeah, I'm on my knees begging for my tickets as always. If you can't get hold of me, get hold of Dabertin. Have a good weekend, brother.
All right, thank you. 845-1100. We have another caller. No, okay.
Sorry, was off again.
You know what? I'm gonna kind of wrap things up now, if you don't mind. We'll play some commercials, and then I think Parks can actually start on time for a change. But I just want to point out there's a lot of events going on in Northwest Indiana this weekend. So we have Greek Fest Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, you heard Patricia call in. The only festival that you have drive-up service, if need be. If you can't attend the festival, they've got Together as the opening band. But if you can't get out there, and you just want Greek food, you can actually call, and they'll run out a plate to you. It's really a unique facet. So that's Greek Fest in Cherville. And then we've been talking about all of the activities going on at Festival Lakes this weekend up at Wolf Lake Pavilion, and really all Robertsdale. There's a car show on Sunday. There's a golf outing on Friday. But there are some really major acts. You heard Mad Mac talk about Offspring, Jelly Rolls tomorrow night, free parking tonight. There's a great big carnival as well. So there is plenty to do in Northwest Indiana this weekend, folks. Go out and enjoy it. Be careful. Watch the heat. You listen to John Doherty all the time. He talks about making sure you're prepared for the heat. So, drink an extra bottle of water, a couple extra glasses of water before you go out in this heat. But enjoy yourselves. Take care. We will be back next Wednesday morning, beginning at 6 a.m., right here on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM. So keep it tuned all day, all week to WJOB. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday morning. Actually, next week, it's Wednesday and Thursday. It's a twofer week, folks. So you get me Wednesday and Thursday, beginning at 6 a.m. Take care. Have a great day. Lynette, thank you so much for everything you do, and have a great day.
I'm a victim of being ran over by a semi while I was flagging. The person wasn't paying attention, and they hit me with their vehicle.
I seen a accident where we were the first people to walk up, and that picture will never leave my mind.
I've seen people get hit before. It's been horrible.
Construction zones on roadways